Hello and welcome to Rule of Three's video review for Tales of Zestiria for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 from Bandai Namco. So this is the latest entry into the Tales series, a series which, in my opinion, has kind of taken over what Final Fantasy used to be. Hopefully Final Fantasy gets back on its feet, but Tales has kind of filled that JRPG void, and they've had a string of, good games come out lately, so I was very excited for Zestiria, especially when they announced it for the PS4, because originally I wasn't going to review this game. But hey, came out for the PS4, so now I am. So let's get into the review. So the story of Zestiria follows Sorey, a orphan raised by beings known as seraphim, who are basically spirits that nobody can see. However, since Sorey has lived with them, he can see them. And due to a series of events, he actually becomes what is called the Shepherd, a legendary figure who uses the power of the seraphim to free the land from malevolence, which recently the land has been plunged into a deep malevolence. So Sorey goes out on a journey to purify and cleanse the land of all malevolence and defeat a being known as the Lord of Calamity. I haven't finished the game yet, at least the story. I'm about 40 hours in, and the story on the whole so far is okay. It's not the greatest story. It's very basic and Tales games have always been kind of cliche in the story department, but this one's, I think, overly cliche in terms of the plot line. Also, just some of the namings of some of the things are weird. Like malevolence, that's probably the most generic evil term you could probably give something. But anyway, it's better than, if you want to compare it to other Tales games, it's better than Legendia, which I hold as probably one of the worst Tales games ever made, and about on par, maybe slightly better than like Zestiria, which is an okay one, but it's really slow, and that's, I think, the biggest problem I have with the story is the pacing's kind of slow. It doesn't really pick up, and when it does, it's only for a few seconds and then it drops down. So I had a problem with that. Character-wise, I thought the characters were fine though. Once again, they're all kind of your, niche, or not niche, generic, JRPG character tropes. But once again, their interactions are good, and it's fun to do the skits and read some of that stuff. But on the whole, this is definitely one of the weaker Tales games in the story department.
The Legend of the Shepherds. In a bygone age of myths, when darkness threatened to enshroud the world, it was they who reclaimed light from nothingness.
Gameplay in Tales of Zestiria is pretty much the same as previous Tales with a few tweaks. The new tweaks include fusion, which allows you to combine with a partner, increasing your stats and allowing you to do different types of attacks, which is really cool. The fusion system is cool, it changes your character design, however, it's really just the color of your hair, and that's about it. I was kind of disappointed on that front. There's two types of characters. There's human and seraphim. Each race has, you have to have two humans in the party in order to have two seraphim in the party. It's a one-on-one ratio, so you can't have a party of like one human and three seraphim. It has to be two humans in order to have two seraphim partners. To armorization with, which is the fusion I was talking about. Instead of only having art, just your basic arts, they've been kind of divided into three types of arts: martial, hidden, and seraphim, or seraphic. Humans and seraphim can use two of the two types. So in order to get the most out of all the arts, you have to have obviously both of them in your group. And there was also a hierarchy of what interrupts what. I believe it was martial interrupts hidden interrupts seraphic, and seraphic interrupts martial. Which is a cool little triangle system they built in. It's really a lot of fun, and like I said, it's a good system. The combat was really good. You also have support skills that you can equip by getting AP from doing exploration and all that fun stuff. And equipment. Equipment works a little differently in this game, as you can get what are called they have skills on them, and they unlock bonus skills. So there's a big chart that's in the game, and it's a row of 5 with 10 across, and you can equip different. Every equipment, like I said, has different skills. It'll open up slots on that skill board depending on what skills are on the weapons and armor. And if you line up 5 vertically, it will basically be a 20% increase to all those stats. So like the first row I know is your base stats. So if you have all those stats on, you'll get a 20% boost to all your base stats. And you can do that with your health, types of elemental damage, and all that fun stuff. If you go horizontally in line up 2 or more, you'll actually get an increase to defenses against that element type. So if it's the fire row, you'll get 10 to 30% increase on elemental defense. The skill board is really confusing at first. It took me a little bit to get into it, but I actually really like it because it allows me to customize my characters and try to figure out what skills I want on what. In order to get skills, though, you have to, obviously, like I said, you're getting new equipment. But the cool thing about this one is there's also what's called equipment fusion. This allows you to take 2 pieces of equipment that of the same name and type and fuse them together to gain the skills that are on one weapon and put them on another, or basically change up what skills if you have already all the slots filled, because you only have 4 skills per weapon and armor. So it's a lot of experimentation, and it gives you use for all your old weapons and stuff. Especially accessories. I found that to be the most useful thing in the game, is just collect a whole bunch of accessories and try to fuse your base skills onto those, while the weapons and equipment have more of the specialized skills. It's a really cool system, and it's actually really ingenious. Like I said, it's just overwhelming, I think, at first, just because there are so many and you have no idea what you're doing. But once you get the hang of it, it's a really nice system. You can also get proficiency with weapons and armor, which will increase stats and allow you to do different things within fusion that are really cool. They also, I think, sell for more. What else? I think that's really it, other than, I can go into the story spoiler gameplay, but I'm not. There's not as many side quests as I would hope there was, but Tales has been kind of slowing down how many side quests are in their games, which is kind of sad. What else? And that's really it for gameplay. Overall, gameplay's fun. I've always enjoyed the game, Tales, at least combat, and this game's no different in that department. In fact, I think it actually makes it better in terms of the pacing. And the fusion won't be in, obviously, the next one, but it was a nice touch and a lot of fun for that. But the base combat, I think, works really, really well. All the new systems, I think, are really cool and work well. And yeah, so good job, Tales, for continuing your good gameplay.
And the people began to speak of the shepherds once more. But alas, no shepherd came forth to guide his people to peace.
Zestiria is alright. Like I said, it's definitely not the best Tales, which I hold, like Tales of Xillia, Symphonia, Destiny, and Fantasia. I can never say that one, but those are probably some of the better ones, whereas, the worst, some of the worst ones have been like Legendaria, and I really think I just really hate Legendaria. And Vesperia is alright, but those are kind of bomb. Unfortunately, Zestiria kind of falls into that lower category, which is saddening, but it's still a solid Tales game, and I think fans of the Tales series will obviously love this game like I did. However, due to the pacing and story not being that great, I'm giving Tales of Zestiria a rent verdict. That's just in general. Like, so if you're a Tales fan, you'll love the game anyway, or just get it anyway. But I think in general, Zestiria is just a weaker Tales game overall. So that's it for this review. The next review will either be for Tales of the Borderlands, since that's all finished up, or Fatal Frame. Both of those should be up either Wednesday or Thursday. I'm trying to get them both done really quick. My guess is Tales will probably be up first, because that one's a little shorter in terms of how long it is, whereas I'm playing Fatal Frame right now, and it's going to take me a while because I can only play that game for so long. Curse you, horror. Stupid ghosts. Anyway, so thanks for listening. Remember to check out this website, rule3.com, for all our latest news updates, as well as make sure to make some posts on our comments for October and on this video for entries into our October giveaway. It only has a few days left, so make sure to do that. Like us on Facebook and Twitter. Check out our Patreon page. Donate there if you can. That also gives you some bonus entries into the giveaway, as well as allow us to upgrade some equipment and get some new stuff on the site. And I think that's pretty much it. Just a special announcement. I'm going to be trying to do something on Halloween. like I did the past year, stream some horror game. It probably will end up being Fatal Frame. But who knows? So thanks for watching, everybody, and until next time, always remember to trust in the rule of 3.